Back into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. And joining us now, as he does every other Monday, Alan Mendenhall with the Heritage Foundation. Alan, how are you, kind sir?
I'm great, guys. How are y'all?
We're real good, real good. Now, are you getting into like fitness since we're just doing cold plunges, cold showers? Is that a thing, or was that like a thing you chose or thing that happened to you?
Not a thing I chose. I guess it was 2 Sundays ago. No hot water was coming out, so I went along inside the house first. I tried to trip a little switch in the garage and see if that was the problem. And anyway, long story short, I had an emergency come out.
Alan, your audio cut out there for a second. I'm sorry, Alan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
that's much better now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I had the hot water heater went out. The tankless water heater went out. So I actually called 2 plumbers. I probably shouldn't reveal my tactic on air, but I don't trust one plumber alone. So I had 2 come out so that they could diagnose it separately, because I figured one would come out and say, well, you need to replace the whole thing and, get as much money as possible. Well, it turns out both said the same thing, but for different reasons. And one charged me $2,200 or quoted me $2,200. The other quoted me, I don't know, $6,600 or so. I don't remember what it was. So I went with the $2,200 for the replacement. But I went several days without any hot water, and it was absolute misery.
Yeah, I like a hot shower as well. And I mean, I see the folks who say take a cold one in the morning. Who are these psychopaths? Like, are you about to return some videotapes? Like, come on.
I thought I was going to go into cardiac arrest. I really don't. If I had to go on news, I had to go on television at like 6:44 a.m. And so I had to do something. And I worked out and gotten all sweaty, and I just had to brave it. And I tell you what, like, I basically soaped up one leg and put one leg under and then took it out. I soaped up another leg and put it under and then took it out. And then I did it with the arms. And basically, like, what I ended up doing is just putting soap in the bottom. And I basically just did the hokey pokey where you just jump in, turn yourself about, and it just jumped out. I may have even screamed a little bit. I don't know how people can possibly take a cold shower. I honestly thought I was going to die on the spot.
I love that essay last week, but I prefer a hot shower all day, every day. For a while, I was doing like the cryo chamber stuff, and I guess you get used to it and just learn to grin and bear it. But like something about the cold water, like the athletes that go from the sauna right to the ice cold bath, is just, I don't know how they survive. So you didn't see any health benefits from your hokey pokey in the cold? I mean,
no. In fact, I didn't feel entirely clean because I didn't hokey pokey long enough. That was the issue. Like, just long enough to like feel as if I had cleaned something like that. I tell you what, I now appreciate hot water to a far greater degree. I've been in the shower and loving every second.
Absolutely. Now, one thing you wrote about, it came out this morning, is this DOJ report on how the Biden administration in particular was treating Christians. And we've done some reporting on the show about this, but it's good to reiterate. In particular, like the thing I wrote that's coming out tomorrow, I'm trying to go through, not like literally I want to speak it all the time, but just learning liturgical Latin and just learning a lot of the original Latin prayers. So I guess that makes me an extremist right now.
Of all the issues in the report, that's one of the most disturbing. So it was the Richmond field office that targeted traditional Catholics who adhere to Latin Mass. Guess where they got those claims? The Southern Poverty Law Center, which had suggested that, Latin Mass attendees and Catholics who have specific views on abortion and immigration are potential extremists. And that all came from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Surprise, surprise. Now, one interesting thing about that article, Joey, and I'm going to say this on air because this was a surprise to me, but I posted it, and then I got a DM through Facebook from one David Burkett, a former Democratic senator in the state who resigned after being convicted of campaign violations. He's also a former Montgomery City Council member, and he sent me a video cussing me out in Spanish in like many different ways. Like, it was just nothing cussing me out and spin. I mean, some of the cussing, like it was creative, but I just thought this was like a strange thing to do.
It is a strange thing.
Oh my gosh!
But I just wanted everybody to know that, like, somebody that held office in Montgomery does something like that.
Yeah. Now, like, there's another thing and this really comes into how the Biden DOJ was using, in particular, the FACE Act, to where they were essentially, I mean, you're a lawyer, you understand some of the tactics better, but these seemed like they were going way heavy-handed. And at one point, even in internal comms were saying that they were upset they got a very Catholic magistrate on a particular case.
Yeah, so first of all, the report's almost 600 pages long, so there's a lot of stuff in there. It's a difficult thing to summarize, but when you're talking about the FACE Act is that federal legislation that's meant to protect abortion providers and abortion clinics, because there were things happening in abortion clinics in the 90s, and this was under the Clinton administration. So it was a piece of legislation put into effect to protect people against violence in that respect. So the thing that DOJ is highlighting here is that the prosecutions against FACE Act violations were really, really high, when meanwhile they were allowing violence to happen against pregnancy centers. So It was showing that, okay, we're not going to prosecute people if they attacked pro-life places, if they attack places where people want to have their babies, put their babies up for adoption, get the help they need in order to have a baby. If those places get targeted, we're not going to do anything. But if an abortion provider gets targeted, then we're going to step it up. So it was to show hypocrisy. That's one important finding of this report. And then there are lots of things about just dropping cases based on religious conscience. There was a case where a Christian nurse was coerced into an abortion and offered technical assistance, and just a lot. Like I said, the report is enormous. I can't remember everything in it, but I would encourage people to just browse through it because it's really disturbing. And it's all areas of the federal government, from the Department of Education to
IRS.
IRS, exactly. The IRS is a big one. So yeah, it's disturbing. IRS, FBI.